producing global talents, global students with global competitiveness, so that they can compete with talents from other countries to go to the top universities.
You mentioned that the students are aimed to enter those top universities. The graduates of Sekolah Garuda are being prepared to continue their studies in top universities here in Indonesia and abroad. How does your university, UNJ, see this, and how will it support the Sekolah Garuda graduates?
Well, I think we have to acknowledge that not all schools, secondary school in this case, of course, the senior high schools, they are not ready yet for the studying abroad. Particularly the schools in the Sumatra, Sulawesi, or Kalimantan regions. So these transformation Garuda schools, they are enriching the established schools to prepare their students to more master the intellectuality, as I mentioned, particularly in the field of STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And UNJ are assigned to prepare students to enrich their SAT, we call it, scholastic assessment test, and the language test, IELTS. And after that, after training them in these two areas, they also prepared for going to study in overseas universities. So those three major programs that we are assigned to implement at the Transformation Garuda schools.
Yes, and how is it that we can ensure that Garuda schools balances academic excellence also with character development and remain inclusive and benefit students from diverse backgrounds?
Well, the first program of Transformation Garuda schools, we are also, students are also equipped with the aspects of character building, because there are a professional psychology team particularly assigned to develop their character, because the curriculum for Garuda, actually, for Garuda schools, they are applying the national curriculum and international curriculum, which is usually known as International Baccalaureate. And this International Baccalaureate curriculum is an education framework which focusing on developing intellectual, social, emotional, and professional excellence.
Yes, and also welcome to our second source, Dr. Itje Chodidjah, Education Practitioner.
Good morning, Ifan.
Good morning, Bu Itje. Very nice to meet you again.
Yes, very long time, yeah.
Very long time no see.
Bu Itje, as an education practitioner who is also a former executive chair for the Indonesian National Commission for UNESCO, how do you see the significance of the Sekolah Garuda initiative for improving the quality of education in Indonesia?
Well, the initiative is good. I think this is one of the big program by the president to speed up the quality of our human resources. Now we have to think. I think whenever we set up new initiative for education, we have to think of the sustainability. We have to think of the resources, especially the teachers, not just the curriculum, but the teachers, because the teachers are the one who are going to drive the classroom. No matter, Ifan mentioned International Baccalaureate. Yes, International Baccalaureate require teachers to fulfill lots of things to make themselves qualified. Because in my opinion, first of all, when we talk about initiative in education, we have to talk about the teachers first. The teachers first, not the infrastructure, not the curriculum, the teachers. Now we have a few number of Sekolah Garuda, and we have to predict how long this program can continue, considering the availability of the teachers, the availability of the resources, and who are the children chosen to enter Sekolah Garuda. Who are they? Are they just regular students from regular schools, or they are the more privileged students from more privileged family? This, we have to think about it, because we have to think about the justice for the people too.
Yes.
So as an initiative is good.
Pak Ifan and Bu Itje, in the long term, how do you envision Sekolah Garuda program and the graduates contributing to Indonesia's education system and global competitiveness?
Well, first, I think I have to respond to Bu Itje's concerns. I couldn't agree more with you, Bu Itje, that the most important aspect in a school, any curriculum may be applied, but teachers are the key factor, the key aspect. And from our experience, Bu Itje, last week, our campus was involved in selecting the headmasters, vice headmasters, and also the teachers. The teachers will be selected in April, and we are involved in preparing the instruments and also selecting the teachers. And these teachers are coming from all over parts of the Indonesia. So I cannot say yet that they are the best teachers, but the selections is prepared so rigorously to make sure that we are selecting the best teachers for this initiative, because this initiative takes and requires a lot of financing, and we cannot do it just to waste this fund. We have to make sure that, university have to make sure that this program runs as expected. And for the long term, I believe that because the aim of this is to prepare graduates with the excellence at STEM, as I just mentioned, with the strong capacity of intellectuality, personality, integrity. And these are the key for welcoming the Indonesia Emas 2045, I suppose. And if this initiative, and only if this initiative is run well and observed by critical figure like Ibu Itje, maybe they can contribute more and promising for Indonesia.
Yes, and Bu Itje, in the long term, how do you envision this program and its graduates contributing to Indonesia, not only in the education sector, but also for our competitiveness in the global sector?
Well, I think depending on how it is managed, and if I agree to select the teachers, the headmasters, I think it is very similar to Sekolah Penggerak, ya. Sekolah Penggerak, they, school propose and then join the selection, etc. But then, the difference is Sekolah Penggerak is part of the organic system of the whole school, while Sekolah Garuda is a site. This is a very particular, very exclusive program even it doesn't belong to Kemendikbudrismen, it belongs to Kementerian Pendidikan Tinggi, which is for me it's awkward. Yeah, for me it's awkward. But then decision has made, so we cannot say anything. However, we have to think of the sustainability in terms of the system first, because this is about high school, and this goes to Kementerian Pendidikan Tinggi. Then, will there be any possibility the change of the government will think that this has to move again to Kemendikbudrismen or kementerian which deals with high school or secondary school? This is number one. So we have to think of sustainability in terms of the system. Number two, we have to think of the sustainability in terms of budget. Because I know the budget spent for this Sekolah Garuda is a lot. Maybe one Sekolah Garuda can actually be used for several ordinary schools. So, how much our national budget can cope with it in the long term? So number one is a system, number two is a budget, and number three is the human resources. Because as soon as schools know that they will have lots of facilities, then I'm sure competition starts. When competition starts, then there will be more joining. Of course, it requires more budget. It requires more attention. It requires more teachers. It requires, maintenance of the quality. So we have to think before we talk about how will be the future. We have to think of the establishment of the system, establishment of the budget, establishment of the human resources, especially teachers. How many teachers? And another thing that we have to consider, how many more children will be suffering from good quality education when teachers who are good are all moved to Sekolah Garuda. So we have to consider how many will get benefit and how many more will sacrifice. We have to think about it. I'm not saying that I'm against this program. I'm not saying I'm against this program, but we have to consider lots of things. This is good initiative, but we cannot just take it for granted. I agree with Pak Ifan, because it consumes lot of people money.
Final question for Pak Ifan and Bu Itje. In your personal views, what key competency that Indonesian students can gain from these Sekolah Garuda programs that will be able to help them thrive in the global context?
Silakan Pak Ifan.
Terima kasih, Bu Itje. Well, we know that in digital era and in digital context, we have to see first what skills are actually expected. There is a book published in 2019, Future Skill, Future Higher Education. They call these skills as future skills. What are those skills? The skills is very much related to the cognitive skills. And in different perspective, if we read the transformative education, we also see that there are transformative competence. Our Bappenas has actually marked two skills that are required to thrive in the future. The first Bappenas calls it as transformative competence and transferable skills. Those two areas. Transformative competence are aiming at producing problem solvers and critical thinkers. So those are the two key of transformation competence. Transferable skills like critical thinking skills, creativity, collaboration, and communication. Those areas of skills are expected to be the key skills to thrive in the future. And these skills are developed at Sekolah Garuda. And before I go further to that, I think we just make very good points at how to make sure that this program not impact for the negative, the contra benefit of the new schools with the victims of the old schools or the existing schools. We have to make sure of that, because removing good teachers to these new schools, of course, requires the loss of the good teachers in the existing schools. I think this kind of points that we need to pay attention to. And if we go back to those skills that I just mentioned, that transformative, competent, transferable skills, these two categories of skills and competence are the core point, the core skills developed at Sekolah Garuda, particularly Sekolah Garuda Baru dan Sekolah Garuda Transformasi, because they are preparing students to go to the schools. That's why they use the two set of tests, SAT tests and IELTS tests, to make sure that we are producing students with excellent capacities in terms of intellectuality and also excellence competence in communication and collaboration. And with those two areas of skills, transformative skills and transferable skills, I believe that these two can be enriched by the Garuda schools with the support and assistance from universities. The reason that I hear from the Vice Minister for Higher Education, Science and Technology, when we discuss about this school, the very hot topic about this school is why this school is assigned to Ministry of Higher Education instead of the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education. The reason is that because the students are prepared to go to universities. That's the reason why universities then involved. That's the reason that I hear Ibu Itje. But of course, in the implementation, the Ministry of Higher Education also involved the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education. We also involve our lab school teachers and headmasters when we are assigned to support this program. Thank you.
So I think Pak Ifan has already mentioned the skills that we need. And again, those skills are not only on the score. Those skills should be built within the students. And that's why process is very important. So to talk about preparing young people to prepare children, we are talking about process, the quality of the process. Now we fail because I'm now in the Indonesia Business Council group. Many companies, not many, almost all, feel that our human resources has not reached the capability that can be compatible in this global era. What's wrong with our school? This is not about university. This is not about university. University is the final touch. The preparation is in the primary and secondary level. If we have primary and strong primary and secondary level, then it's so much easier to get the students perform well in university. I believe it so because if students are trained to think critically since very beginning, it will belong to them. It will go with them into their lives. So that's why I think it's not only the students in Sekolah Garuda who deserve to be developed, to join the global world, but all students in Indonesia should be prepared, no matter how, no matter what, should be prepared to be able to compete, not to compete, to participate in the global world. Okay, if students from Sekolah Garuda are aimed at joining university abroad, then which university? What kind of field they are going to do? So there are lots of things should be considered in this case. It's not just that everyone who is graduated from a foreign university will be better, right? It's not a guarantee also. So we have to think more on how to continue this initiative to be sustainable and doesn't sacrifice the rest of our students.
Yes. Thank you to Pak Ifan and also Itje for your time. Listeners, that was Professor Dr. Ifan Iskandar, Vice Rector for Academic, Student and Alumni Affairs for Jakarta State University, and Education Practitioner Dr. Itje Chodidjah. For more, you can check out our YouTube channel at VOI Official. So stay tuned with us only at Voice of Indonesia, from Indonesia to the world.
Thank you. Thank you.
Terima kasih.
Pak Ifan, sampai ketemu ya. Kangen Pak Ifan.
Terima kasih. Iya, makasih Bu Itje.
Yuk, mari.
Sajauh ning panginditan satebihing leleng kahan heup di mana diri miara mulang tetep kasalira.